Said rolling around, sitting on doves, can't lie, I was high on shrubs.
So we're back with another video. I'm Strange Wang, he is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 worst movie franchises of all time. It's not often we shit on things on something topical, but sometimes it's needed. And when you get a shitty Jurassic Park movie, I feel like it's time. So that's the reason why we're doing this. Very interested in the audience versus critic score on this. Personally with the audience camp, he has not seen the movie yet, but he had no interest in seeing it, so that tells you as much as you need to know. But he will tell you about the social media, which you should know about, and about how we do our top 5s.
If you scroll down to the description box below, pop it open, you'll find links to all of our social media accounts. So click on those, give us a follow. We have links to our Coffee account and our Patreon account as well. I touched his knee. If you would like to help support us financially so we can get a bigger couch and I don't end up touching his knee, then you can check out the Coffee account and the Patreon account. Patreon, you get lots of cool bonus content. It's also really cheap, so find one that's right for you. And we have the thanks button right here on the YouTube page. You could use that as well. If you don't know how we do our top 5s, he's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3 through 3, 2, and then we trade off number 1s. And we also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, then we'll save the talking about it until then.
You could say, we need you to become a Patreon.
Me.
That shit whack.
My number 5 is going to be the DCEU. This shit's batting 500 for me. It's on your list.
What's my number 4?
This shit's batting 500 for me, and I think that's being kind and generous to say it's batting 500 for me. It also doesn't help when these other movies are so shitty. When you do get a good movie, it takes away from the investment because you don't have the same investment with Wonder Woman through all of her movies. So it's just like, damn, I didn't really care too much about Batman vs Superman, but I'm supposed to care about her Wonder Woman. And then the beginning of the movie is took straight from the relationship with her and Bruce Wayne. And then when you go to Justice League, you like her a little bit more because the movie was fucking great. And then you're like, oh, this movie kind of sucks too. And then Zack Snyder made an even longer movie, and I'm like, yeah, fooey. It didn't do anything for me either. I could do without this thing. Except for the Suicide Squad. Just throw everything else in the trash, except for Wonder Woman and the Suicide Squad. And Shazam.
Yeah, I was about to say, Shazam I had a lot of fun with. Aquaman was okay. Wonder Woman was pretty good. The Suicide Squad was very good.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm not here. Like, it's just not like...
You blew it!
Oh, you failed.
Well, it should be a good thing. That would have been good.
It's been so long since I tried to blow a raspberry.
We're adults.
Yeah.
We're not childish.
Well. Anyways.
My number 4 is going to be Jurassic Park.
It's my number 5.
Jurassic World, I like Jurassic World. Jurassic Park speaks for itself. But the other ones, Spielberg, you tried to do the repeat, and there's some cool moments, but overall, I watched it, and I never need to see that movie again. The third one, I wish I didn't watch it. Never needed to see that movie again. Jurassic World, it's a logical sequel, it makes sense. Someone finally found a way to make this park work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Psych, I lied, it doesn't work. And that makes sense. But then you start cloning human beings, and Jurassic Park, you know what's in Jurassic Park 3? I mean, Jurassic World 3? Locusts. Why? Couldn't tell you why. It's a movie about dinosaurs. Last time I checked, locusts weren't dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, they existed in that time period probably, but still.
So the further these movies go on, it don't make no motherfucking sense.
Yeah. Jurassic Park, like the Jurassic Park, is, it changes on a day-to-day basis because film is subjective and people always change. But quite often, if you had to sit me down and put a gun to my head and said, what's your favorite movie of all time? I would probably say Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park. It was a huge part of my childhood, major influence on me, introduced me to Spielberg, introduced me to John Williams. Freaking love Jurassic Park. I watched it today. I can't say enough about Jurassic Park. I love it so much. Jurassic Park 2 is not a good movie. I don't hate it as much as other people do. That's because I saw it when it came out and I was still very young. Jurassic Park 3 is a bad movie. I did not care for Jurassic World very much at all. It is slightly below mid-grade to me. I wouldn't say that I would necessarily score it in the 50%. I would probably give it like a high 60s. And then I haven't seen the most recent one. I probably will watch it at some point, but Jurassic World 2, whatever that subtitle was terrible.
Fallen Kingdom.
It was so bad. Facts! It's just like, man, if they just made the first one and left it alone, then we would have just had so many like decades to just enjoy the goodness of this one movie, which is what I've personally done anyways. And then I wouldn't have even cared if Jurassic World came out. Jurassic World would have been way better to me if Park 2 and 3 didn't exist. But like, this franchise has so much potential. It started off with a bang with one of, in my opinion, the best movies of all time. And it has just been incredibly disappointing since.
I think you could make good sequels, though.
Yeah, there's definitely...
Like, outside the Jurassic World concept.
Yeah. And it's like, I know that they touch on this in all the new stuff, but like, this idea of like, humans messing around with genetics, trying to play God, doing stuff we're not supposed to do. There are definitely very good stories in there somewhere. And I guess inevitably it makes sense that if we're going to get it, because like, even in the first Jurassic Park, they don't use the word, but like, the dinosaurs really, they are clones. So you're taking you're taking DNA and duplicating it and making like biological life out of it. So inevitably the franchise would probably move towards them trying human cloning. But it's also a movie. You could do whatever you want. It doesn't have to go exactly how it would go in real life. It's just, yeah, the amount of potential that the Jurassic Park franchise has is well above the quality that we have gotten from it. That will not change the fact that Jurassic Park is one of, if not my favorite movie of all time.
So we have the same 5 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is Jaws.
No, I didn't even think about
that one hitter quitter, dog. You watch the first one, you don't need to watch the rest of them. They get worse and worse as they go on, which is kind of like interesting because if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 30, 20, 10. You know, like they get low, like low. They get low. You know what I'm saying? But Jaws is like, I think it's a damn near perfect movie. If not a perfect movie, I would say personally. Well, I guess non-biased because it's not my favorite movie, but like. If you asked me, I was like, what's the greatest movie of all time? I would say Jaws. And to have 4 sequels no one's really ever heard of or surprised, which is funny because like back in the day, people were like, oh damn, like they knew about Jaws. Jaws 19 was a joke, and Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
Like it was a joke, and now it's just kind of swept under the rug. Like we don't talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is like. It's like your mom flashing titties on Girls Gone Wild. You know, like, we don't speak about this. It's Baltimore levels of, like, that's the Baltimore of movies.
Yeah.
Franchises.
I think it's also worth adding that, like, this may not have happened if we just got the first Jaws and none of the sequels ever happened. But the fact that, like, Jaws made a name for itself, became its own franchise, that's also why we have, like, Deep Blue Sea and The Meg. And, like...
I like The Meg. Deep Blue Sea, I could do without.
Yeah, I mean, The Meg was fun, but it's fun because it's bad. Yeah. But they also knew they were making a bad movie. But
my number 2 is going to be Transformers.
This is my number 1.
First one is cute, you know, Shia LaBeouf, you know, CGI is like a little ahead of its time, you know. Mm-hmm. And then the second one, Shia LaBeouf tries to have sex with a robot, and that's the only thing I remember from the movie. And then
well, he didn't know that.
Yeah, I know he didn't know that, but it's like, why was that just forced in there? You know, like
it was the 2000s, man.
Yeah.
Everything was.
You could have done without that, and then they just get worse and worse and worse. And then somebody was like, "All right, we're gonna cut away from the fucking franchise and make a spin-off movie with a new director." And it's good. Bumblebee was a good movie. Well, I enjoyed Bumblebee.
Prequel. It's not really a spin-off.
It's not connected. It wasn't presented as it was connected to that franchise.
Yeah. It's literally how Bumblebee got to Earth in the first place.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought it was like totally separate. New direction. Kind of like the Batman.
No, it's a prequel.
Oh, well, it's got one really good movie, one me. And it's get worse. The only person I know that likes this franchise is some idiot that wears a cowboy hat. And that guy sucks toes.
Nice.
That's your number one.
Yeah, it's my number one. First one, high school when it came out, which is the perfect movie for high schoolers that don't really know a lot about good movies. It was just a great summer blockbuster. Like, lots of action. There's a smoking hot girl in it. The kid from Even Stevens was in it. Like, it was good. It was fun. It was good. And then it just goes way downhill. The second one is not good. Third one is not good. Fourth one comes around. Okay, all new cast. Mark Wahlberg's here for some reason. Don't care about that. I grew up on Beast Wars. I prefer my Transformers in the shape of dinosaurs. Obviously, I love Jurassic Park. We talked about that already. And then they had one where they have dinosaurs, Transformers. And I was like, well, maybe that one will be good. It was not good. It's like every time a new one comes out, you're like, there's no way it's going to be worse than the last one. And then it is.
It's longer and worse than the last one.
But Bumblebee was surprisingly good. So maybe they could take it in a better direction if they keep making movies, which if they think that they can make money off of them, then they will keep making movies. But I hate that franchise. It is my number one worst franchise. Mostly because it's like, it's got popularity combined with how bad it is.
Number two?
Oh, yeah. Well, my number three is the Vacation franchise. I.e. Vacation, Christmas Vacation, European Vacation, Las Vegas Vacation, and then the one, it was Ed Helms, right? Yeah, I hate all these movies. I don't like any of them. The comedy is not for me. I don't enjoy them. I understand that a lot of people love some of the original Chevy Chase Vacations very much. I have gone back and watched a handful of these old Chevy Chase movies. It's just, it's just not for me. I also checked all the scores on all these movies and looked on Metacritic, which kind of combines scores from like all your big movie scoring platforms. And guess what? It's on their list of worst movie franchises because these movies are not good. They're just not. And then my number two, I tried to stick with franchises that I've seen a handful of movies from. Thinking back on it, I cannot tell you why I have seen 3 movies in this franchise. I know why I saw the first one.
Never mind.
I know why I saw the first one. I don't know why I have seen 2 more of them. And it is the Medea franchise.
That's surprising.
Yeah, so Diary of a Mad Black Woman, I thought it was hilarious when I first saw it. I was a much younger person. And admittedly, there is some funny stuff in there. I understand that I am very much so not the target audience for those movies. But I also listen a lot to my friends that are the target audience for those movies and whose parents are the target audience for those movies, and they hate those movies. So, it's just not good. Tyler Perry, he needs to stick to drama. Tyler Perry in Gone Girl, I love that character. He does so good in that movie. Loved it. Him dressing up as Medea and just doing stupid shit, being the exact same thing in every single movie. It is tiring. It is not funny anymore. And looking back, I really don't think that it was really that funny in the first place.
You know what's tiring? Jumping. My number one has a lot of that.
Okay.
And that's Paranormal Activity.
Oh, yeah, I thought
Jump scares, the movie franchise. Girls, for some reason, they like horror movies. So when you trying to get a little piece of that, I ain't gonna say any words because this guy he don't like other words for vaginas.
That's true. I really don't.
So when you trying to get a little of the old in and out, and then but you a little bitch, and so you trying to watch this, and then she thinks you're a little bitch because you look jumping every 2 fucking seconds because there's nothing on the screen to be fucking scared of. You ain't getting laid that night, and the odds of a second date is slim to none. And luckily I'm slim, so more than often than not it happens. But anyway, why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why?
Oh, we didn't have a coffee table move. Let's make a fucking sequel. That's what I think about that franchise. It's fucking terrible. I never want to... I hope these movies die. In the words of Sam Jackson, I hope these movies die. Paraphrase Sam Jackson. I hope these movies die and I hope they burn in hell. Terrible movies. Garbage. No art to them at all. Tell us your top 5 in the comment section. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video. And subscribe.
start again. It's a